Let me go back to emails to students. They are trying to join this new one. One second. Okay, that's it. That's good. Okay, so let me go back chapter 11, okay? Number one. So it's about bond, okay? Okay, chapter 11 says this bond, Simon purchased the bond. It's newly issued by the Acor 1000. Bond pays 60 to its bondholder at the end of first and second, and pays 10,60 upon its maturity at the end of third year. So when you solve this bond problem, right, you have to understand the cash flow, okay? Cash flow. So let me share the blank. Okay, so bond, okay. Everyone, you see this screen, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, bond, okay. This bond problem, right? So bond, why we studied this bond? Because Federal Reserve, fast, Federal Reserves, open market operation, okay? Open market operation is what? Change in interest rate, okay? Change in interest rate. How? There are two things, open market purchase, or open market sale. Okay? So when Fed execute open market purchase, then interest rate goes down. When Fed execute open market sale, then interest rate goes up. Okay, I explained this. So, but this changing interest rate is to stabilize the economy. Okay, in this case, to fight for recession, they lower market interest rate to fight for recession. To fight for inflation, they raise market interest rate. Okay, so that families and business hard to borrow money. This is what Fed's open market operation. Okay, you should know that. But if Fed execute open market operation, this has impact on bond value. So if you have any question, you have to start with bond value. That's chapter 11, and I solved chapter 11, number 1. So for example, okay, this bond has 3 things. So principal amount is $1,000. Okay, so means this company, Corp A, want to borrow 1,000 from market. And second is coupon rate, how much they pay for the lender, coupon rate, interest rate they pay to lender. That is, since coupon payment is $60, so that is 6%. Okay. How we know that? Because lenders, they receive 60. The coupon payment is 60. So interest rate on this 6% is coupon payment $60. So we know that 6% is coupon rate. And third thing is maturity. When this bond mature means borrower should pay back the principal. When? 3 years. 3 years. So this is a very important 3 factors in a bond. Okay, bond is to borrow money from the market, pays the interest rate, and they have to pay back the principal amount. Okay? So this bond, Simon buys is 3 years bond. Okay. So Simon buys by paying 1,000 to bank or someone else buy this. Why Simon purchased this bond? Because he likes this $60 interest income from this bond. Coupon payment? Okay, coupon payment. Coupon payment. So if you borrow money from bank, you have to pay interest payment, right? $60. Then end of 3rd year, it says maturity 3 years mean it matures, mean borrower pays back 1,000. Okay. So this is cash inflow, cash outflow. So all bond problem asking, what if Simon has to sell this bond at the end of 2nd year? He has to sell, must sell this bond. Okay. He doesn't want to wait one more year, receive this much, 1,060. No, he needs cash now. Okay. So this is 1 year from now, right? 1 year from now. So he needs to sell and want cash now instead of holding this bond. Instead of waiting 1 more year, he wants cash today. So we have to compute what? Today's value, okay? Selling means, this bond means you have to compute present value of this bond. Present value of this bond is what? This is a future money. 1 year future money. So what is today's money? You have to discount back to present today, 1 year. So if any investors, Simon or any other investors, wait 1 more year, they receive what? 1,060. But 1,060 is not today's money. It's 1 year from now. You have to discount to today with what? Interest rate, right? Interest rate. Current market interest rate. Interest rate today. The problem says, what if current market interest rate is 3% or 8% or 10%? It was market interest rate was a 6%. 6% market interest rate can become either 3, either 8, either 10. How? Open market operation. Okay? So 6%. So first problem, solve the problem. This bond value, what if market interest becomes 3%? 6 became 3 means what? Interest went down, right? So Federal Reserve, they saw recession, high unemployment, so they did open market purchase. They bought treasury bond from bank. So they circulate, pump more money in the banking system. Okay? So, okay, so you have to compute this value, today's value using today's interest rate. So if market interest is 3%, you have to what? Discount with the 3%. Okay. So what you do is present value is okay 1,060 divided by if current interest rate is 3%, this is the answer. Okay. You solve it. How much is it? You solve it. You have to do it in exam. How much is this value? If interest becomes 3%, what's the value of Simon's bond? Anybody has answer?
1,029.
1,029? Okay. 1,029. Okay, 1,029, right? Simon purchased 1,000. So he sell at 1,029. Okay. He bought 1,000, sell at 29. He has what? Capital gain of $29, right? So buy low, sell high. House, car, buy low, sell high. You have what? $29 of capital gain. Okay, capital gain. Because Simon's bond becomes what? Why become 10 to 29 means this bond become premium, popular, premium. Because all other bond issued at this today carries on 3%, but Simon's bond carries 6%. So it's popular. Okay, let's do one more time. Okay. Okay. What if now, what if, okay. So now this is 1,060, right? 1,060. So always we ask the value if Simon has to sell before 1 year, okay, 1 year prior, okay, need cash, so sell. So we solve the problem in case interest is 3%, okay? So bond carries 6%. Why? When that issued market interest was 6. Somehow in this period, you mean the Fed can do what? Execute open market purchase, open market sell. In this case, what? Open market purchase, right? So interest went down, right? How about 8%? Interest went up, right? Up. Why? Because Fed execute open market sell. So go to bank and sell bonds. So banks should give money to Federal Reserve. So bank has less money and they charge high interest rate. So let's compute when it's 8%. Same thing, present value of this bond, this is 1 year future. So present value is, so future money, 1,060 divided by, if it is 8%, 1 plus 0.08. How much is this? Either Daniel, Raul, Jocelyn, how much is this? You have to do this in exam, okay? With your cell phone or calculator, you have to do this.
981.
980. So this is present value, okay? This is market value of Simon's bond because market is good. Other bonds carry 8%. Simon's bond carries only 6%. So this bond becomes discount bond. Discount bond means investors don't like this bond. Investors like new bond carries 8%. So Simon has to sell this bond. If he needs cash at this time, he has to sell at discount. Means what? So buying price was what? 1,000, right? 1,000. So in this case, Danieli, Simon's capital loss is how much?
Negative 18.
Negative. Negative how much?
18.
This is $981. You said, right? 981
Yeah.
minus 1,000.
Negative 19.
Okay, negative 19. Okay. Negative 19. This is what? Capital loss. You understand this? Right? Capital loss. He bought it at 1,000, but he has to sell at 981 because in the meantime, market interest went up. So this bond become discount bond, not popular. Capital loss, $19. Okay. That is chapter 11. So why this become either 3%, 8%, 10%? Other thing can contribute change in interest rate, market forces, but possibility is a fact, Federal Reserve's open market operation, right? Okay, open market operation. So I'm teaching you the impact of Federal Reserve's open market operation on bond market. Okay, Simon is in this case, Simon is a sad because Federal Reserve's open market, in this case, sale. So his bond become discount bond. He has, if he needs cash, he has to sell it. Sell at loss, $19. Is that? So impact on Wall Street. Federal Reserve open market operation is to stabilize the economy, either cure fixed recession or inflation. But it has an impact on bond market too, okay? That's chapter 11, okay? Any other question in chapter 11? This is basic thing, okay? If you know this, you should be fine, okay?
Got it.
How about Jocelyn or Raul? Do you have any other question on any other chapter?
Yeah, I had a question. I had a question on number, what was it? Should be, let me check. Oh, chapter 8, problem 3, number D.
Chapter 8.
Problem 3 on the letter D. I get how to do A through C, but on D,
Chapter 8 problem
problem 3,
and number 3 what?
letter D.
Okay, you don't worry about that. Supply, okay? No,
Oh,
you don't have to worry about that. Okay, no. No, you don't have to. Yeah. If you know A, B, C, you're fine, okay? Okay?
okay.
So can I go over something like chapter 10 problem? Give you some money supply?
Okay.
Okay. You have, Raul, any questions you want me to solve for you?
No, I just yeah, chapter 10 is fine.
Oh, chapter 10? Okay. This is confusing. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Total money supply. Probably total money supply. What the- So total money supply is right. What? Is money supply from banking system, right? Plus pocket money, right? Public holding. Okay, public holding. So that's total money supply. Okay. Okay, so then this is total money supply. This actually Federal Reserve changed this, right? Changed this to control interest rate. So they want to sometimes increase or this money supply. Okay, so if Federal Reserve want to change this, they have to fix this money supply from banking system. Okay, okay. Suppose I tell you this: public holding is 500. Okay, public holding is 500. Total money supply is 3,000. Okay, means money supply for a banking system is 2,500, right? People's money total deposit. This is total deposit 2,500. So it means like in balance sheet of a banking balance sheet.
Wait, what problem is this?
I'm giving you general chapter 10 problem. Chapter 10 problem or like a money supply problem. Could be any. Okay. So after this, I will solve problem for you. Okay.
Okay.
So like asset balance sheet means currency and liabilities, right? So it's a deposit. Okay. What if reserve deposit ratio is 10%? You know that this means, right? Bank should keep 10% of customers' money, right? So this is setting. But problem says total money supply 3,000, pocket money 500. Money supply from banking means total this deposit total is what? This is 2,500, right? Currently. Keep adding, and this become 2,500. Okay. So what if Federal Reserve want to reduce money supply to 2,500? Reduce money supply from 3,000 to 2,500. So they cannot change pocket money, so they have to change this one. This 2,500 has to be what? 2,000, right? 2,000. So this has to be 2,000 total deposit. Okay, 2,000. So to make it 2,500 deposit to 2,000, Federal Reserve should execute what? Open market what? To reduce deposit, okay, to reduce deposit, the Federal Reserve should execute open market purchase or open market sale. No, we don't know. Then let's solve it. Okay. Then let's solve the problem. Okay, let's go. Show steps here. Chapter 10 problem. Let's go chapter 10. Okay, this is this one problem, number 8. Do you see this problem, number 8?
Yes.
Mhm.
Also, Professor, when you're done talking about that, I wanted to ask if you can go over chapter 9 for the GDP.
Chapter 9. Okay.
Yeah, the national saving and then the private saving. Because I understand like exactly like how you get like the like from like the you said like we can do a poster, right? Like for like the formula, which would be like the
Yeah.
national saving
Uh-huh.
divided by GDP. I didn't understand how you gave an example in class where you were saying like for I think it was for public saving. You said business saving plus household saving, that would equal to public saving?
Private saving.
Oh, private saving. Okay.
Yeah, that's private sector.
Okay. And then what was like the like the budget surplus and then like the budget if it was I think less than zero, something like that.
So let me answer your question quickly, okay? So when to answer your question, okay? So national saving, right?
Okay.
So national saving is so from income minus consumers expenditure and government expenditure. Okay, you have to write down this, okay?
Hmm.
And national saving is sum of private saving, okay? Private saving. Private sector means business, household. Household means consumers, okay? Household. So consumers save. So that's private sector. And last thing is what? Public saving, okay? So total national saving is sum of private sector saving and public saving. Private saving is from income minus we have to pay tax and consumption. Public saving is T minus G. But we have to understand T is tax collection, right? Minus and transfers, right? Welfare, Social Security transfers, and minus government interest payment. Okay. So depending on problem, if this is like T minus G is positive, that's a budget surplus, okay? Budget surplus. Budget surplus means US government has a positive saving. So if it's negative, we have a budget deficit. Okay. So problem says budget surplus of 50 means public savings of 50. Budget deficit of 50 means public saving is negative 50. Deficit, right? Budget deficit 50 means negative 50 saving. Okay? That's what I'm talking. So I can solve another problem for you. Okay? You have more question on these formulas?
So you're saying if it says budget deficit is 50, that would be minus 50?
Public savings. They don't save, right? Deficit means they cannot save. They borrow money. So saving is negative. Surplus means they have enough money to put in the bank. Rather than borrowing, they put money in the bank, surplus. Deficit means they have to borrow money, okay? Not enough. Minus. 50 means minus 50, okay? More question? Okay. Okay, money supply in macro currently 3,000. Total money supply. So bank reserve 1,040 means in balance sheet, of bank, okay, balance sheet. So asset, liability. So that's the deposit, liabilities, asset, and that's currency. So bank reserve 1,040. So this is 1,040. 1,040. Yes, reserve is 1,040. 1,040. And currency held by public, pocket money is 400. So outside money is 400. Right? And desired reserve ratio is 40%. Okay, then if central bank or macro wish to increase money supply from this, from 3,000 to 3,500, right? Increase. Then it should conduct open market what? So if money is 1,040 and reserve deposit ratio is 40, total deposit becomes what? Eventually, this becomes how much? Total deposit, total money supply becomes what divided by what? Eventually, deposit, keep deposit, deposit. Eventually, the maximum deposit becomes how much? Which divided by what?
It was, is it 100, sorry, 1,040 divided by uh 0.4?
Yes. So how much is this? 1,040 divided by 0.4? How much is it?
26.
26?
It's a 2,600, right?
Okay, 2,600. 2,600, right?
Yeah.
So banking money from banking service deposit become 3,000, 2006, this money supply from bank, and people's pocket money is 400. So I said what? Total money supply is, so money supply from banking system plus pocket money, public holding, right? So currently this is 400, and this is 2,600. So that is 3,000. So Federal Reserve want to increase this one to 3,500, right? 500 more. Then they should what? Open market operation, right? Increase money supply. How much? 500 more. To increase money supply 500 more, they should conduct what? Open market what? Purchase, right? They have to purchase bond. So if they have like treasury bond, if bank has treasury bond here, so they buy some of these, and some of these become currency. Okay, so currency. So means what? They have to execute open market purchase of what? Purchase of treasury bond. How much? So if they purchase like suppose, right? So if they purchase 100, and if they purchase 100, okay, so bank doesn't have 100, so Federal Reserve give 100 here. This is gone. Okay, this is gone. So this goes to Federal Reserve, and Fed gives 100 to this bank. If 100 is added here, eventually it will become how much? Divided by 0.4, right? So it becomes 250. So if 100 is deposit, it becomes 2.5 times, right? So they want to increase 500 more, then they have to what? They have to purchase 200. Purchase 200. Okay. So, but probably this is difficult. I will not ask numbers, but what you have to know is whether Federal Reserve execute open market purchase or sell, at least, okay? At least. You should know that, okay? So purchase bank means treasury bond become currency because Federal Reserve take treasury bond, gives cash to bank, more cash, they can lend more. So eventually lending, deposit, and 100 more becomes 250. Keep lending, deposit, keep lending. So if to increase 500, so you have to divide by, that's multiply is 2.5, so that's 250. But this problem is difficult. I'm not asking how much you have to find out, but at least to increase money supply, they have to execute what? Open market purchase. Do you agree? Purchase bond and give more money to bank. Then they can increase this amount, okay, to 3,010, 500 more. Any question on this? Open market purchase, open market sale?
Can you explain why the answer is 200? Like, can you like give like a explanation? I'm
Okay.
kind of lost.
Okay, so they have to increase 500 more, right? 500 more. So magic thing is, so this, look at this. 1,040 is deposit, but total become 2,500, right? How? Because 1,040 divided by 0.4 is 2,500. So we don't know how much.
It's 2,600, no?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, Rob,
2,600.
600, right?
Yeah, and then
So,
you added the 400 from the banks, the public saving, right? Or
no, we have to this want to increase this. I'm sorry, this is wrong. Where was it? This is what? This is 400, right? Public holdings 400. Okay. So public 400 is to become 3,000, but they want to make it 3,500. So Federal Reserve, they cannot touch people's money. They have to touch banks' money. Okay, banks' money. So if 1,040 deposit become 2,600, right? We don't know how much deposit, how much that be, but eventually 0.4, that becomes what? You want to make it 2006. So we have to increase 500 from banks' money, right? 500 more. So 3,000 becomes 3,500 means 500 more from banking system. So this should be 3,100, right? From 3,000 up 2,600 to 3,100. So if you solve that, okay, that becomes clear. So if 1,040 is deposit, 1,040 is deposit. So keep coming, lending and lending deposit, lending deposit. Eventually, this becomes 1,040 divided by 0.4. That becomes 2,600. But they want to make it this to 3,500. Okay. So how this is 3,000, 2,600 from deposit plus people's money, 400 people's money. Federal Reserve cannot touch these people's money, okay? Give more money. So they have to fix this amount. How much more? So this is currently 3,000. So they wish to make it 3,500. So only way if they cannot touch people's pocket money, they have to touch this. So they increase 500 more. So this should be what? 3,100. So bank's money has to be not 2,600, has to be 3,100. How? We don't know. We have to add some amount here. Okay. So total money divided by 0.4 becomes 3,100. So if you multiply by 0.4, 3,100, so 3,100 multiplied by 0.4, that's this x is 1,240. We can solve for you multiply by this number becomes 1,240. So 1,040 become 1,240. So that's increasing 200, right? So it means U.S. Federal Reserve should what? Purchase 200 treasury bond. Okay, 200. And this goes to Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve pays cash 200. If cash 200 added to this, okay, become 1,240, eventually keep lending deposit, it will be 3,200. That's how you solve it, okay? From here, this is difficult problem, but at least you should know whether, so Federal Reserve should conduct open market sale or purchase, okay, when to increase. Opposite is true, right? Rather than increase, they want to decrease money supply, Federal Reserve, then they should conduct what? Open market sale. Okay, government bonds. then opposite is true. I explain open market operation. Okay? At least you know when to sell, when to open market operation. So study open market operation. Okay? That is open market. I'm sorry, open market operation is Federal Reserve's monetary policy. Okay, buying and selling bond. Okay, any question on this problem? So, Jocelyn, you want me to go over any, you said chapter 9 problem, you said?
Sorry, you were talking to me, right? You said chapter 9?
You said, you want me
yeah.
to solve chapter 9?
Let me check. Yeah, please, if you can.
I mean, you have any question in chapter 9 problem or chapter 9, 10? What?
No, I think that was it. I think it's just more of going over it, but
Okay.
other than that, I think I should be fine. It's just more like practicing like the balance sheet, which would be like the loan and then the second loan. And for the exam, are you gonna have up to 3 loans or is it just gonna be 2 loans?
2. Daniel, are you comfortable with the second loan? Bank?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with doing it now. Yesterday I wasn't really understanding,
How about
but
Daniel, you comfortable with the computing first loan amount, second loan amount? Raul, you comfortable with computing the first loan amount, second loan amount in banking system?
Uh, is that the example you did yesterday at the end?
Yeah. First loan amount, second loan amount.
You said you were gonna explain it to me a little bit because I wasn't really understanding it.
Okay, so let's.
so kind of from what I got from that is like, okay, so the currency and deposit is basically given to us, but in order to get our currency, we would have to divide it by our ratio, right?
Reserve deposit ratio. So what you're talking about. So this is asset, right?
Mm-hmm.
So suppose the currency they have right now is 1 million, okay?
Okay.
And reserve deposit ratio. So Federal Reserve, right? Ratio is suppose 10%, okay? And liability. So people's deposit should be 1 million too, right? So before investing any money, right? They have to set aside money. How much? Raul, how much this bank has to set aside?
How much? What? Sorry.
They have to set aside as a reserve before investing.
Is it 900,000?
Set aside, reserve, set aside.
Oh, 10%
10% of what?
of 1 million.
Okay. How much is it?
Mm,
But currency, and that's required reserve, right? Required by Federal Reserve. Required, you have to set aside required reserve currency has to be 10% of this is 100,000, right? So we have this bank has 1 million. So if lending is only one business, first loan amount is what? Raul, how much is it? First loan amount.
900,000.
Yeah, 900,000. Okay. So yeah. So 900,000, I gave example ComEx, right? ComEx borrowed money from this bank and ComEx spends this money and people will eventually deposit this money, right? So someone sold the car to ComEx, received checks, and they deposit 900,000 bank. Okay? So this was gone, 100,000 reserve and 900,000 loan. Now people deposit back, and bank says, "Okay, we'll manage for you," and this comes back to as an asset. This is the end of what the money becomes 1 million back, 900,000 loan, 1.9, 1.9. End of first round of lending. One more round, one more round. Okay, more lending. So as you see, this becomes what back to. Okay. So this is back to 1 million, right? Back to reserve plus 900,000. So more lending. This time, how much they have to keep as a recovery reserve? Well, for the second loan, before you execute any second loan, so this bank has set aside how much?
Is it 810,000?
Set aside. Set aside how much? That's the loan amount. But you have to set aside first, then extra can be invested. How much is the set aside money? You have to require reserve inside money.
100,000?
No, Raul, you're wrong. You have to what? 10% of what? 10% of what?
1 million?
No, total, Raul, okay? Deposit, right?
Yeah, so it would be the total. So it would be 1 million. So it would be 1,900,000 divided by 10%, right?
Multiply
Or
by 10%.
multiplied by 10%, my bad.
So you have to set aside how much?
Would be
190,000, okay? 10% of total, Raul, okay? You understand, Raul?
Yeah.
10% of total, okay? It was 1 million, now it is 900,000 is added, okay? So total is 1.9, so they have to 10% of 1.9 million, 109,000. But they have a 1 million inside bank. Loan to, maximum loan to amount is how much, bro? They have 1 million money. They have to keep inside 109,000. So what's the maximum amount they can loan to outside?
Is it 800,000?
No,
Eight,
difference between two.
810?
Yeah, 10, okay? And this will be deposited back to two, okay? Okay, so this was gone, but money comes in and bank says, okay, we'll manage this money for you. This is the end of second loan balance, okay? So lending becomes someone else's deposit. So this money keep increasing. So we know total 1 million, 1.9 million, 2.7 million, keep increasing total, but we know the end point. That end point is what? We start with 1 million, right? But if is 10% divided by 10%, 10% is 0.1, isn't it? So 1 million divided by 0.01 is 10 million. Okay. So total becomes 10 million eventually. Okay.
And you got the 810 because since your currency reserve was 190,000, you just minus that by 1 million, right?
Yeah, million you have cash.
Okay.
Difference, always difference.
Okay.
But always you add this total deposit, okay? And then multiply by 10% as required reserve, okay? That's total. Okay. So as we saw that in this situation, if the Federal Reserve execute either open market sale or purchase, then they can increase currency or decrease currency and increase or decrease this number. Okay, increase or decrease by reducing this currency by selling treasury bond, or buying. That's open market operation. If open market purchase, this will go up because more cash is added. Open market sell means they have less money, right? Inside bank, so this will go down. All right. Any other question?
No.
And Jocelyn, you mentioned about GDP thing, right?
Yes.
This problem, right? Okay. So which problem are you talking about? GDP, chapter 9?
Should be, yeah.
Chapter 9 problem.
Is it problem 2, I think?
Chapter 9 problem 2, maybe 8.
Yeah, I think maybe it's 8.
Oh no, this is not it. This is conceptual problem. Chapter 9, 8. Let's see. No, it's not it. 1.
Yeah, I think it's 1.
Oops, sorry. Chapter 9 problem. What's chapter 9? Okay, this one, GDP.
Yes.
This one, which one you want me to?
We can do, let's see.
Okay, so A, so like national saving, right? National saving is Y minus C minus G, right? So, and private saving is, so private saving is, private sector is consumer, household, consumers, plus business saving is, we call it private saving. That is Y minus, we have to pay tax, private sector and consumer expense. Public saving, government saving is net T minus G. But we have to know T is tax collection. And then they have to, US government should pay first transfers, welfare, social security, things like that. And they have to pay government interest payment. If problem doesn't give Y, we can compute Y, GDP, is C plus I plus G plus X. Okay. So first problem, house saving 200, business saving 400. So that is household and consumer, right? So household consumer saving 200, business saving 200. So that private is 600, okay, in this problem. Okay. Then government GDP is 3,000. So let's use different color. So GDP Y is 3,000. Okay. Government purchase goods and services. G is 260. Tax collection is 245, but transfer and interest payment is 135. So T is 110, right? So T is 110. But we know the G. G is government purchase goods and service 260. So public saving is what? Negative 150. Negative 150 saving means government has a budget deficit, right? Budget deficit 150. So even we don't know C, so this is private plus public is total national saving. So this is 600, this is negative 150, national is 450. Okay, that's number 8. Any question on this one, Rosalind?
Where did you get the 110 on the tax?
So tax collection is 245, right?
Mhm.
So, but transfers and government interest payment, transfers and interest payment is 135.
Oh, okay, so you just
245 minus 135. That is leftover is 110, okay?
Okay.
Plug in 110 here, okay? Any other question?
Mm, no.
So the answer is 450.
Yeah, national saving is, answer is national saving is 450. Private saving is 600. Public saving is negative 150. National savings rate is what? National saving rate. National saving divided by GDP is national savings rate. GDP is what? 3,000. So 450 divided by 3,000, that's national savings rate. You have to answer all this. Okay. Any other question on this saving problem?
no.
Nope. Okay. Danielle, you good?
Yeah, good.
Okay. Raul, any other question?
Can you go over C?
C1? C, right?
Yeah.
Okay. C. Okay. C, do we have a GDP information here? Raul?
No.
No, right? But by looking at the information, can you compute GDP?
Yeah. Like there's no GDP.
So, but this is no GDP, but can you compute GDP from here, right?
Yeah.
Consumption is 4,800. Investment is 1,000. Government purchase is 1,000. NX is 16. So if you add all this, that's GDP, right? So this is 6,800. 16 is GDP, okay? So once you know the GDP, you plug in all 6,816. 6,816. Okay. But you know the consumption is 4,800. And you know the government purchase is 1,000. So you solve the first one. National saving is, how much is it? 1,016? You solve this one, okay? So next thing is the C is 4,800. Okay, we'll have to reverse this one. Okay. And we don't know the T, but it says tax collection is 1,700, right? But it says government transfer and interest payment, transfers and interest payment total is what? 500, right? So T becomes 1,200. So T becomes 1,200. And T becomes 12. If you plug in numbers, right, it solves itself. So public saving is T minus G. G is what? G is 1,000. So this is public savings 200. Okay. And private saving, so you solve this one either. Okay. That is 6,816 minus 1,200 minus 4,800. That's a 16. So 1,016 is a 16 plus 200. Okay. So national saving is 1,016. Private savings 816. Public savings 200. National savings rate is 1,016. National saving divided by GDP was how much? GDP was 6,816. That is national savings rate. Okay. For our education.
So we need to rewrite 6,816, or like you know how you rewrote it, right there next to the consumption expenditures.
This one?
You said 1,016 over 6,816. Do you divide?
Yeah,
Or
this is GDP, right?
oh yeah.
National income. So your savings rate is saving divided by your income, right? So this is national saving divided by national income. That's the national savings rate. Okay. Any other question? Jocelyn, Daniel?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Jocelyn, you good?
No, that's it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Raul?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Raul, there are more videos in module for second reference for the second midterm. There are more videos, okay? So if you have any question, why don't you click those videos too, okay, Raul?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll go over those.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. If you have more question, let me know, okay?
Okay, thank
See you
you.
around. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, bye.